Hello everyone, my name is Eric Frohardt with Rost Martin, and today we're going to do a basic firearms lesson. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is holster draws, but before we talk about holster draws, we're going to talk about how to select a holster. If you're anything like me, you may have 20 or 30 holsters at home, or you may even have had years where you spend more money on holsters than guns. I know I have. I think if you have a criteria for selecting holsters, it can reduce the number of holster purchases you need to make. And I'm going to share some of the things that I've learned having bought and tried a bunch of different holsters over the years that hopefully helps you select that right holster. The first of these criteria, I have 5 criteria: safety, reliability, application, comfort, and price. Again, safety, reliability, application, comfort, and price. So safety is the first one and the most important one. What I mean by safety is when I have the gun in the holster, whether it's here or wherever it might be, I want to make sure that that trigger is protected, right? And that the trigger guard is covered, and that keeps this loaded gun safe in the holster. Number 2 is reliability, and it's really related to safety, but I want to make sure that this holster is reliable. And a big part of reliability is that the retention on the belt is greater than the retention on the gun. And I have seen holsters, right, maybe some with the plastic clips inside the waistband, where that belt retention is not as strong as the gun retention, and people draw the gun out with the holster still on it. Another thing I've seen, if that holster doesn't retain the gun well enough and we start moving around or going through everyday life and a gun can fall out, well, that's neither safe nor reliable. The next one is application. What am I using the gun for? Am I training on the range? Am I using it in competition? Am I using it for concealed carry? Now there are various use cases, and that determines what kind of holster you're going to be buying. I'm always going to start people on an outside the waistband holster here at 3 o'clock and just get used to things before we transition into other holster types and other locations. But something to think about is what am I using that holster for, and that determines which holster you buy. The next one is comfort. To me, if a holster doesn't allow me to comfortably carry that gun, then I'm not going to do it, right? So it's important to find a good holster that allows you to carry this gun comfortably for that application. And I would add to that the importance of having a good belt. So I want to make sure I have a belt that obviously holds up my pants, keeps the gun up here, and it's a little bit, some of these belts will have some either sturdy leather or even plastic built into them to keep the holster from flopping around. The last one is price. To me, price is the least important, but I know it is a factor. We can't have multiple $300 holsters. Most of us can't afford that. But if a holster meets the other criteria, I'm willing to spend a little bit extra on that holster just so that I'll carry it more often. Remember, the best ability is availability, meaning if that gun is not with me in a moment of consequence, it's not doing me any good. It doesn't matter how good the gun is or how good I am as a shooter. If that gun's not with me when I need it, it's not serving its purpose. So these are just a few things to think about as you start to buy holsters, and I'm sure you'll try a few of them before you find the one you like.